Good morning, Captains. It's me again, Tonic TZW, and this is the Duchy in World of Warships Legends. I'm in division with my buddy Chin Laden in the Friesland, and as you can see, we've got a couple of divisions on the other side, one with some big ships. We're up tiered to Legendary, but there's only a couple of Legendaries on each side. This game is titled How Hard Can You Throw? And let's just say that Blue Team had their throwing arm in full swing on this one, and we'll talk through it as we get into the battle. So the game starts, Chin and I spawn on A cap. Now, people do say that divisioning with all destroyers is a field div. However, there are much harder fields in this game than taking two destroyers in. I'm pleased to see that we have an Alaska with us, a radar cruiser. Sadly, he is not going to live up to expectations. And I've said many times in the past that one of the issues with this game is giving legendary ships to players that perhaps don't have the experience to play them. I know we were all there at some point, but for the majority of us, we were probably pretty high up in the tech tree research playing tier 6s and 7s when legendaries started dropping into the game. And we know that tier 8 is coming next week. Patch notes are out today, so go get them read. I'll see if I can find some time over the weekend to do a quick talk through on what we can see and what we can expect. But there are 12 new tier 8 ships coming next week. But we are going to push and try and take our cap because that is our job as destroyers. We've got another DD on B cap, which I think is a Shimakaze. But if you look at C cap, you'll see that every single ship that was across on C cap, they're all going to cluster behind that island. They have completely abandoned it, which frankly is a little bit poo. Now, we have an Iowa out there. We know we've got an Iowa. We've got torpedoes coming across. And from the amount of HE that's coming across, I know that that is a Worcester. We get the Kagero spotted. Chin and I are both on him like a tramp on chips. And I think the Alaska chimes in too with a salvo just to take the kill away from us in a second. But we put the torps out there and spread them wide to deny him movement. I'm expecting torpedoes coming in too. He's on fire. There's the shells from the Alaska coming in now, and he takes the kill. So the Iowa decides for survival, really, and you can see from the torpedo indicator that he's hit the brakes and he's going to back up behind there now. Now, ideally, what we want is the Alaska to, get some damage on him or really take care of the Worcester. Red team have been successful in securing B cap while our Shimakaze sits on the outside, and you'll see that the cruiser, which did push in, the Baltimore, has now decided to go for C cap all by himself. And our Alaska is obviously staring down the barrel of his guns. This was on live stream, and I was cursing and blinding as he shoved me out of the smoke and into the way of fire from everything. So if you were this guy, open your friggin' eyes and watch where you're going. Don't just keep staring down your gun barrels, even though they're all bent and crooked because they've been knocked out by the Iowa. The Worcester has got us on radar, so I decide that I want to be outside of that radar range and turn around, narrowly avoiding some shots. And our Alaska is going to push straight in. I don't know what he was thinking, but going up against an Iowa and a Worcester, and I believe he keeps his focus of fire on the Iowa as well, pushing for another kill. Now he's bow on. I think he's only got one turret left on the front. Really, we want the Worcester out of here. He's a radar HE spammer. Please take care of him. But no, I'm going to shoot at whatever I want. And although I did turn round there and get into my smoke screen, it dissipated right as I fired my guns and I got myself spotted. The Worcester slaps that Alaska to pieces. I'm looking at the Z23 who's got himself spotted while trying to stay skinny to the Worcester and the Iowa. Chin is pulling a hasty retreat too because we realise that we can't go up against these two ships on our own. Seacap is still not taken. The only cruiser that could really do anything against the Red Team DDs is dead. I said he sailed against 3 battleships, a cruiser, and I think there were 2 DDs out there as well. But our other DD has decided he's going to push in for the cap. There is a Bismarck pushing in with him. The Vanguard is the ship on the far right, who I think just sails broadside to everything the whole game. So I'm surprising that he actually survives for so long. But we try to keep this cap defended. The Bismarck is pushing in with the destroyer to try and secure B cap, and we are doing what we can to try and stop Red Team from taking this cap by getting it reset as much as we can. The Worcester has taken an absolute battering from the GK, but the GK is absolutely unable to finish him off. So we put torpedoes out there and we pick up a hit on the Iowa to finish him off. That is the cap secure. We just need that Worcester taken care of, and we have control of this side of the map. Sorry, while I adjust my seating. I don't know what the GK was doing. Again, it's a legendary ship. I think the guy had 1,800 hours, so he knows how to play. But he spends the majority of the time going away from the action. Now, it may be he wants to be out of range of the Worcester, but to be frank, he's probably going to fare better if he goes at the Worcester. Now, as I said, we've got this side of the map pretty much secure. The Worcester is low health. He is running. We're asking for fire on him. And I can see that, well, apart from the torpedoes off my bow, which nearly caught me out, that is the Red Team Shimakaze. And Chin is going to go and hunt him down. Now, when you watch a game back, you realise where things could have been different. And, well, yeah, it could have been different. Chin does go out and he does spend a lot of time going for this Shimakaze, because the Shimakaze is a huge risk to the battleships that we have left in the game. We have a slight lead at the moment, but trust me, that is not going to last. Our other DD has come off B cap. I think that is our Shimakaze, because there is a Cleveland. Both radar cruisers that started this game are still in it. The team have not been able to take out one of them. So if you're a battleship captain, please do focus the radar cruisers. We can then take care of the bigger ships, and your life will be much easier. The Cleveland is pushing in. I can see that I'm within his radar range, and just as I turn this corner, he knows he's spotted. He knows what his detection distance is. He lights up his radar, and we lose the Shimakaze to the key. And I'm deciding that I need to nope it out of here and try and stay skinny. I'm not the fastest boat in the world, and all I can do is try to let that radar burn out. But I take a number of hits in the process. So now I know that he has burned his radar. I really want one of the 3 BBs that are left in this game to take care of the Cleveland, which they are incredibly incapable of doing. Now, the Conqueror, the Key, and I think it's another Iowa, all 3 of those ships are in division. So I'm going to try and keep these guys spotted and defend this cap as best as I can. Now, I widespread the torps, which is something I don't normally do, but that Cleveland is twisting and turning to avoid fire, so I figure I might get contact somewhere along the line with those. We put another set of torpedoes out towards the Conqueror and Key because they're all pushing straight through the middle of this map. Now the key here is to secure the cap and prevent Red Team from taking it. Get rid of the Cleveland would be ideal. You know, those torpedoes are forcing him into turns. I think our Vanguard is just spamming HE, which is, you know, not doing a lot, you know. So I decide that I'm going to keep these guys spotted, then slow down and try and get some fire on. Now, as you can see, Chin is down there at the bottom left-hand corner of the map trying to take care of this Shimikaze and stop him from coming through on the blind side of our battleships. Our Vanguard is still sailing broadside not only to the Cleveland but to 3 battleships as well. And he is not going to be long of this world. He is still firing HE as well. He does get a fire on the Conqueror, I think. But it is this Cleveland that we want off the map. He's burning. I'm trying to do what I can to take him off. But that Vanguard is absolutely knackered. We get a fire on the Cleveland as well. The damage is ticking, but he isn't going to die. Now you'll see that our GK, who has been sailing around in the background for a lot of the time, has parked himself behind an island. That's about the time my torpedoes make contact with the Conqueror and take him out for, I think it's like 60-odd thousand dev strike. We've got another set up. We put them on the Key. We lead him a bit, expecting him to sail straight over. The Iowa has seen my smoke and is turning out towards me. So I decide that I want to open a little bit of distance because I am literally right on the edge of my detection. Io is twisting and turning because he knows there's probably torpedoes going to be coming out as well. Our GK is there parked behind an island. He is unable to shoot at anything. He's unable to see anything. Chin has taken care of the Shimikaze. The low health Worcester is parked behind an island on the far side of the map. And Chin is going to come in and try and help me across this side. We do get a torpedo on the Key, which drops us a high caliber at just over 150,000 damage. We got torps running on the Iowa. We pick up another 3 hits in a flood. We are barely under 200,000 damage. The Cleveland, which has nothing left on him, has sailed into air cap, and that GK is doing absolutely nothing to help. In fact, the only thing he is going to do is turn and run. I've still got the Iowa on my case. I'm looking for an opportunity to turn into B cap, but I'm very aware that the points are ticking up and the clock is ticking down, and I really don't think there's anything that I can do here. Could I potentially have pushed across for C cap? Yes, I could, but I would have taken myself out of the action completely because those battleships would have been going away from me and my torpedoes probably would not catch them. What would have been great here is for the GK to come out, clatter the Cleveland, who is literally no risk to him whatsoever. And then we could have secured air cap as well. Chin perhaps was a little bit too far out of the action as well, but he had to do that. He had to get out there to stop that shimmy coming round and ripping everything to pieces from behind. Now at this point I decided that I'm not ending the game on 199,823 damage because somebody told me they only give a thumbs up to scores of 200,000 plus. It is not all about the hit points and damage score, and this is a prime example of that. I've had an absolutely massive damage game We've fought 2 caps. We've tried to hold, but blue team threw away C cap at the start. We lost our only radar cruiser, who then threw himself against C cap. And we've got a GK who has chosen to hide away and then turn and run for his life, rather than actually join in and help us to get some of these ships off the map. And he gets burned down by the Worcester. Chin is going back into air cap. I'm still trying to push down and see what we can do here. We try and get one last fire on the Iowa, and we do. The damage ticks, the game ends, and to be frank, that is probably one of the worst games I've ever had. 212,000 damage, high caliber, dev strike, top of the board, and I'm actually only beaten by the top 2 members of Red Team in that one. But thanks for dropping by. Thanks for watching the video. I'm sorry it wasn't like an epic clutch ending like some of them have been. But please do hit that like button. And if it's your first time past the channel and you enjoy the content, please do hit the subscribe. And you can also catch me on live stream a few times a week. So take care and goodbye.